Before we even start talking about the guitar, let me tell you a little story about this guitar. I've been looking to buy a Strandberg since it came out. I don't know when it came out. I think 2016. As soon as I saw that guitar, I was in love. I somehow just wanted to get my hands on it. But it was so rare to find this in like a guitar store or anywhere really. And I would see it on YouTube videos and people who are like artists sponsored by that company playing that guitar, and like it's still a rare guitar. But I never took that demand, that desire to get that guitar so seriously. Like I never saved up. It's a damn expensive guitar. I never saved up any money about it. I just had that in the back of my head, like if I ever had to buy a new guitar, if I ever have to buy like a professional level guitar, it's gonna be Strandberg. I just knew it in my head. So recently I got approved for a credit card and I was like, what the hell, let me go for it. I was checking around some stores around here in West Seattle, and one store called Thunder Bay Guitars had a 7-string version of a Strandberg regular Bowden in red. That was the first time that I saw the guitar in real, and it was such a weird feeling because it's much smaller. In the photos it looks like it's like the body's big and there's a neck, and it looks like it's smaller than a regular sized guitar. Like if I put it next to my Ibanez 8-string, it's like 2/3 the size of the entire guitar. So when I saw that in real life, I was like, this is tiny. It's so small, which I like. I actually like small guitars. My first guitar was a Jackson Flying V, which is, I think, the smallest guitar I still own. I like the comfort that comes with a small guitar, and especially on an 8-string, there's 2 extra strings, and if that could somehow be made smaller and comfortable, I would like to try that. But they only had a 7-string version. They didn't have an 8-string. If they did have an 8-string, I would have just bought one that day because I was ready. I saw it, I played it, and I was ready to go for it. But then they didn't have it, so I came back home and I went straight to their website and everything was out of stock. And they said that there's probably gonna be a new batch coming out in like 2 weeks when I was looking to buy one. And I was like, what the hell, I waited years for this, so I'll wait 2 more weeks. And there were some like refurbished options available, but I wanted to get a brand new one since I'm gonna be spending this much money just for personal satisfaction. I wanted a brand new one. So then the first one that got available was the metal edition. That's what I actually wanted because it had that special Fishman Fluence pickups, and I don't know if they're better in the metal range or if the EMGs are better, but I wanted to try one. And since I'm spending more than $2,000 on this fucking thing, I was like, what the hell, let me just put everything in it, right? Like get the fully packed the gun, like ready to go. And as soon as I like saw it, it only said 2 left in stock. I had to like do some chores, run some errands. I told myself like if it's still available in the evening, then I'll get it. I don't know why I did that, but it was not available in the evening. They were both gone, and it was again out of stock. And I was like, why did I do that to myself? Then there was the option of buying a Sarah Longfield Signature Edition. I'm in love with those graphics. The paint looks so cool. If I could get one, that would be so sick. Then I was like, I would be playing someone else's signature. I kind of want my own signature, to be honest. So I was like, I'm gonna go with the basic one. The metal edition never came back in stock because then they went with the NX models. And I've heard that there are very mixed reviews about the NX, the next generation of Strandberg models. Like they're not flaming their necks anymore. The wood used, I've heard, is of lower grade than the ones used in the beginning. I don't know. I mean, I don't believe any of that. If it sounds good, like go for it. But I kind of like the look of a flamed maple neck, and all of their necks just like look so bland now. As soon as I realized that the newer edition does not fit what I want and the older edition is what I really want, I just got the next thing that was available. This was it. The next one was a Strandberg standard Bowden 8-string, and I just went with it and I ordered it, and they said we will send you a confirmation, blah blah blah, and within 4 days it was here. And as soon as I saw it, even when it was in shipping, I was thinking that I'm gonna make an unboxing video, I'm gonna make a review right away because I was so crazy and excited about this instrument. And as soon as I saw it, I just lost my mind and I started playing and I started admiring it and just absorbing the beauty of the curves. It's just such an amazing piece of art. Then some shit happened and I just kind of got off track. I just lost all my interest in like pretty much anything. Fortunately, for only a couple of weeks, I came out of that zone. Took me a while, but it's been 2 months since I got this. One benefit of waiting for these 2 months to make this review is that now I actually have some experience with this guitar, so I can actually talk about how it actually feels after hours. After 2 months of wear, is there any damage? What does it feel like? Not just initial impressions, but actual experience of playing this. And nothing really has changed. I was in love with this guitar. I'm still in love with this guitar. I just can't find any problem with it. I thought that I'm making a sacrifice by going with the standard edition and not going with the metal edition that I actually wanted, but it's actually quite nice to play with the other 2 voicings that are added in there. They're very unique, and I can see why Tosin uses that position 4. It's just like, so I don't even use the bridge position anymore. I stay in the position 4 too. Like, it's such a unique sound. I like that, and none of my other guitars have it so far. The metal edition has a 3-way selector. Even Sarah Longfield edition has a 3-way selector, but they do have a push-pull coil tap thing, so it kind of balances in the same place. Like, you have 3 voices and then 2 more voices, but here you just have 5 voices altogether. Depends on what you want. Plus, I'm not really a full metal artist. I'm more of a metal as just a sprinkle of salt on my music, so it's nice that it can do so much more than just distorted sounds. I kind of like that, and I'm glad that I made that choice. It turned out to be good. One more thing. If you're thinking who this guitar is for, I think I have a very specific answer for you. If you're a beginner, you should not get this guitar, because I've noticed one thing, that the width of the neck towards the headstock is kind of similar all the way down to the bridge, and it stays the same width almost, which means that the strings that are tight here, it stays in that tight layout. By tight, I mean like there's not much space between the strings. Whereas on the Ibanez, if you look at it, where the strings meet the nut, the width of the neck is pretty narrow, so like you can play chords and stuff. Whereas if you go towards the bridge, you will see that the strings are much wider, so you have like more space to go technical. So that's why if you're a beginner, you should go for something which has more space, so you can get more comfortable instead of going with something like this which is tight. Now, if it's not for beginners, it means if you're an intermediate or you're looking for something professional level that you want to go into and you want to invest money in, and you don't want to worry about buying another guitar later on, which is me. So if you are like very comfortable with 8 strings or with how many strings you want, then you should go for something of this level, where it would be like an upgrade. It will make things easier, because now I'm comfortable with the strings, so I don't need that much space between the strings towards the bridge. So if it's tighter, then I can actually switch my hands faster on the frets, so it kind of adds up on that level. So if you're a beginner, you should get comfortable with the 8 strings or how many strings you want to play with. And if you're thinking that you are ready to invest that much time into practice, you want to like have your own like fucking axe of an instrument, an instrument that you want that serves you in the level of technique that you have right now, and will not fail to serve you even if you go beyond whatever you can even imagine. This guitar will still hold up, which is why I fucking bought this thing. Like, I'm thinking about going serious about music. Like, so far in my life, I've only taken it as a thing that I do. Like, I've played music my entire life, but it was only like 1 year ago that I started recording music. And now that I think that I'm sure that I'm gonna go head on into this big journey, I'm gonna need something that holds up to the journey. So I think this is the perfect fit for someone like me. And if you're that someone, then you should go for it. If you're already a professional, like you can play guitar blindfolded behind your back and behind your neck or whatever, if you can do all that shit, then I don't know. Still, this is gonna be an upgrade because of the ergonomics. We will talk about that later. So these are my initial thoughts about this. Now that I've let all this out, let's go talk about the instrument itself. So let's go check this spec sheet before anything else. We're gonna go to their website and see what's happening. So let's find the guitar that I have. As usual, as you can see, all of them say join waitlist, join waitlist. None of them are available. These are the NX models: the metal edition, the original, and there's the Sarah Longfield. That one I think did not get converted to NX yet, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're planning on it, I don't know. But just see how cool it looks. I'm just, oh, so good. It's also slim and glossy. Look at that neck. It's like burned. I love it. Oh my god. Dude. Alright. We're not here for that. I'm just drooling on another guitar. Here's the standard 8-string Maple Flame Black. It's also out of stock, but it's good enough because it has all the info that we need. So see, color variation because we roast maple for tone and moisture resistance that they do not do anymore in their NX editions. Look at this. So this is an NX edition, and look at that neck. It's just like raw. They just polished it up, and I don't know, I mean, since I noticed that, now I have a thing for flamed maple necks for some reason. Thank you, internet. But let's go back to our standard 8-string Maple Flame blah 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 shit. Also, another thing, the difference between the metal edition and the standard edition. The standard edition has this binding around it, which is so beautiful. The metal edition does not. This one is sold at $17.95, which is almost $1,800. So it's not as bad as the Sarah Longfield edition, which is $2,400 almost, and the metal edition is $2,100 something. The only difference between this and the metal edition are the pickups, and that's pretty much it. So I was thinking, if the rest of the guitar is the same throughout this 1800, 2100, and 2400 guitars, then I'm not making that bad of a mistake here. So I just went with the basic one. Let's go to the specs right here. You can pause and read all this or go to their website if you're that interested. I'm not gonna read, oh, it's 320 millimeter this way and then 820. You can go do all that if you're interested, but what I'm looking for is like the generic information. It's a bolt-on construction. It's a solid body with arm, torso, and heel carves. The weight is 2.6 kilos, 5.8 pounds for the 8-string, which is light as fuck. These ones are manufactured in Indonesia. I know there was a batch before this that was manufactured in South Korea. The company itself says that there's no difference between the models produced at these two locations, but I don't know, people just go for like, oh, this one was made in South Korea, these are not available anymore. It doesn't really matter if it sounds different or the same. I don't really believe in all that. Neck and frets, roasted maple neck, carbon fiber reinforced, nice. It has the Endure neck profile, which is it's not curved from the back. It has 3 plain areas to put your thumb on, and which is genius. It's Ola, you're a genius. It has 24 frets, stainless steel fretware. The fretwork is beautiful. It's very smooth. There's like no extra pieces of metal dangling off, which would hurt your thumb when you're playing, which you kind of expect when you pay $1,800 for a fucking guitar. But they deliver. Actually, when I was thinking about it, there's Ibanez RG8, the Meshuggah edition, which I also want. That one does not have a neck pickup. It only has a bridge pickup and no tone knob, just a volume knob, and it's specifically like made with a longer string length and everything for the specific band, but with the specific I think EMG pickups. But that guitar is also it starts at $1,800, which has no ergonomic changes. It literally takes the same body of a $399 guitar and just like puts all these fancy stuff on it and then sells it for $1,800. At least here, when you're spending $1,800, you're spending for very noticeable and big upgrade, which will actually help in your guitar playing and your musical journey. The inlays, the dot inlays, are glow in the dark, so if you're performing on stage, you will not miss your notes, which is very cool. Usually people put glow in the dark tape on their frets, like Lucas Mann from Rings of Saturn, but this one just comes with dots. If that's not enough for you, you can of course put tape or whatever, fuck it up. So it comes in a lightweight gig bag, which is an amazing gig bag. It's like fur on the inside, and the pocket on the outside is actually big enough to put a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro. And so if you're a performer on the street, or a jamming, or a traveling performer, artist, a touring artist, there you go. If you're a touring artist, then it's pretty handy for you. It comes with the Allen key kit, which is all you need pretty much to set it up and get it going. The action was pretty high for me. It was regular, but I like it pretty low, so the only thing I had to tune or adjust when I opened it for the first time out of the bag, it was the action. And other than that, the intonation was fine, and the tuners hold the tuning for literally ever. I just tuned it once, and I just check it every time before I play it, and it's always in tune. It's insane. I don't know how they did it, but I fucking love it. So those are the specs. What else? It is a headless guitar. We didn't really talk about that. So if you've seen the Ibanez 8-string review video, the number one issue that I had with that fucking guitar was that the headstock is so heavy, and it was causing a big neck dive, and I hated that. And that is just fixed with this, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted a Strandberg. I talked about it in the video, but I didn't really. I think that time I said that the Legator guitar is gonna be my next guitar, but that guitar is also a $1,400 guitar, and it was not available at that time. I didn't think that it's worth the money, in my opinion, because I'm looking for more ergonomic guitar, and that was a Flying V with an X shape, which is not at all ergonomic. It looks very cool when I'm a performer. When I'm performing on stage, I might get another one just to show it off, but in my room when I'm practicing, when I'm playing this guitar for hours and hours, I need it to help me in whatever way it can, instead of making it harder for me, and this guitar does just that. Also, I personally think headless guitars look cool. The first time I saw a Strandberg was in a Meshuggah concert, and Per Nilsson was playing it. For some reason they didn't have Fredrik on that concert, but Per was playing it. Before that, I was aware that there's a company that's so and so called. I didn't know specifically the name was Strandberg, but I knew that there was some company that's making headless guitars. Like, it was not a concept that was that wide, but I'm a big Meshuggah fan, and when I saw that Meshuggah plus the headlessness of that guitar and the lights and the music, and it just looked so beautiful, at that moment I just fell in love with this guitar. Since I've bought this guitar, I've not even touched any of my other guitars. Like, they're just sitting there eating dust. I think I'm probably gonna like give my 8 strings away, the Ibanez RZ8, the Shinigami guitar. I might give that one away. So stay tuned. There might be like a contest or just a random fucking giveaway. But when it comes to playing guitar, when it comes to practicing, this is the guitar that I pick every goddamn time. I don't even think about it anymore. It's so comfortable and it's so beautiful, like visually. I'm in love with the looks of it, and I'm in love with the feels of it. So it's just the perfect setup for me. It worked out amazingly, and I never thought that money could give me this much happiness, but it did. This guitar is fucking awesome. It comes with a 2-year warranty, so anything goes wrong, you can go talk to them. It comes with a 30-day refund option, no questions asked. If you don't like it, you can send it back just look at the design. Even the 6 strings, like with the tremolo bars, and just when I see someone playing it on stage, it just like captures my attention. Like, the fuck is that? So cool. I literally cannot wait to get my stuff ready and start performing with this guitar. It's gonna be one hell of an experience, and it's definitely gonna be much smoother with this. Other than that, like, even every day I just look at it and it just inspires me to pick it up and play. And I'll just be like sitting in the living room, just maybe watching Naruto, and I'll just look over and I'll literally stop the episode in the middle and just like start jamming, because it just looks so inviting when you look at it. You just want to just pick it up every time. And that's what happened when I unboxed it for the first time. I was just like, when I held it for the first time, I just started noodling on it, and I was like, okay, let me put it away for a second, let me see what else is in the bag, and you know, put the box away. I would just like in the middle, I would just even just look at it and pick it back up and just start playing it. It's so inviting, it's so inspiring, and it's so comfortable. I should actually start talking some more sense and just stop being a fanboy. All right. So 21 minutes in, and now we get to hold the guitar. You can tell how seriously I take my videos. Well, you got it, because it's a lot of money, so you need the information. So now is the time to talk about the ergonomics. I haven't studied the real reasons behind the cutouts. I'm just gonna go with what I see and how these shapes help me. Normally you would see that a guitar would be shaped like this, and this is missing this part first because it's a headless, so they have to put the headstock material, the tuners and everything, and they continued to cut the material off on even on this side, so that when you're playing you can actually rest the guitar on your leg. The other cutout goes for the other leg. So if you're playing in a traditional way, then you can just rest on the regular cutout, but if you like to play the classical way, then it still just sits right comfortably on your legs. This cutout reminds me of another company that makes guitars this way. That's Abasi Guitars. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure there are more companies that do the same stuff, but they also have a similar cutout, but they continue the shape all the way around, and they don't have this cutout. Another thing that I had an issue with the RG8 was the shape that's so regular. This goes a little out of that shape. I mean, it still follows that same shape, but it does take a lot of it out. This other piece, the wing, I don't know what's the real terminology. I think the whole thing is the wing, so I don't know, maybe the spike, the horn. I'm gonna go with the horn. This horn is actually smaller than the other guitars that I have. I like that because on the Ibanez, the cutout was there, so like I did not have any issues reaching the frets anyway, but sometimes when I would be playing fast, I would find that the back of my fingers would like hit because it was so close up here. But here I can't really do that because it's so far out. So when you rest it like that, you will see that there's a cutout on the back for the belly, which is pretty smooth, and there's a little cut here as well to make the joint a little bit less thick, so it feels better on your thumb. So here's the neck. The neck is the weirdest neck I've ever played, but it's also the most comfortable neck I've ever played. These plain things is like where you would put your thumb. So you see this one in the middle, this is where you would put your thumb when you're playing, and if you're playing on the lower frets, then you kind of want to keep your thumb right behind it. But if you're going higher, you take your thumb and make it go lower on the back of the neck. So there's a little slant to this platform, this little piece, which is super cool because it kind of like directs your thumb where to put your pressure. It just results in easy playing and everything is like smooth. Talking about shaving off extra wood, these little platforms on the back. Because it's not round, when you're playing it from this point of view, you will be able to see that from some points you can barely even see the back of the neck. All you see is just the fretboard, which is amazing, and like it's down to the bare bottoms. Everything else is out of the way, so you can reach everything more easily. It just makes it so much comfortable and smoother. Here's the headstock. It's such a cool little shape that they chose to go with. I like it so much. It looks beautiful. The way they organized the clamps for the strings, it's so cool. They have it like upside down and they go right next to each other, and there's the 0 fret, and right before there is the nut. So like we said, 24 stainless steel frets. They look gorgeous. When I bend the strings, it's so smooth. There's like no chirping, there's no fret buzz. Everything is like super in line. So it's a multi-scale guitar. The frets are fanned. So the multi-scale guitars help in keeping the string tension in check, because the thicker the string gets, the longer it needs to go to keep it in tone. If you pull the thinner string as long as you would the thicker string, it would be super hard to like bend it or even play. Like it would not be as a comfortable experience. So this design helps to solve that problem, where it will keep the longer string length for the lower strings and kind of make it smaller for the higher strings, which results in equal tension all over the strings and better intonation. So as soon as you look at it, you'll notice the binding. That's what I was talking about. The metal edition does not have that. It looks very cool. I noticed it immediately, and it kind of adds to the curves and the look of the guitar. Also, it says that it's black, but for some reason it kind of looks very dark green to me. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's black, maybe I'm just crazy. So we were talking about the cutouts earlier. When you play it like this, you can also use this cutout to put it in this position, where after like hours of practice I find myself getting into. I play it in this position all the time because it's just so much easier for my hand to reach all the frets. It almost feels like you're playing a cello. It's almost vertical, and it's a different experience. You can't really do that on other guitars. It makes it easier. Like after hours, you don't want to stay in the same position and keep bending down. Like you can actually change the positions every now and then and keep it interesting. So when you put it on, because it's headless, there's literally no neck dive. I'm not letting it rest on my legs right now. It's just totally hanging on me, and there's no pain, there's no strain because of the neck dive that I had in the Ibanez. It's so much easier. So here's the 5-way pickup selector, master volume, master tone. Here are the tuners. The tuners are so interesting. It's in-house design, so I think he designed it himself. I think he used to be a coder or something, and that's how he came up with such a unique. Maybe he was an architect? I don't know. Maybe I should study more. So now that we've talked about the shape and the ergonomics of this guitar, let's go check out some tones that this beast can make. So that concludes the guitar review for my Strandberg. If you have any questions, if you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments. If you don't have any questions, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.